Good morning, and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community practicing ancient wisdom and using universal principles to engage with the divine and to empower our lives and the lives of others. So right now, as we begin this new month of August, the question of passion and purpose is the center theme for this month. And so as we begin to explore what that means and how do we navigate I hate to say it, the dog days of summer, let us begin to think about what we're doing and how we're living our lives. Now, today we gather to explore one of the most fundamental journeys rather of our lives, and that is discovering our passion. Discovering our passion. And now, discovering our passion means finding that spark or finding that thing that introduces you to yourself. That introduces you to yourself. Because you see, oftentimes there are a lot of us, and sometimes I will add myself to that. I'm running around, I have no idea who I am. I'm running from pillar to post and hither and thither, and I have no aim, no direction. I'm just caught up in the wherewithal of life. But when we begin to discover our passion, because see, passion is that thing that is needed to create a successful and joyful life. Not just joyful or not just successful, because you can be successful and not have a joyful life. Or vice versa, you could be joyful and not have a successful life. So, but when we have passion, when passion works within this, it begins to open up to a whole new world. Now, the first thing I want you to remember is that each and every one of us is a unique expression of the divine. So as that, we come, as they say, ready-made, plug and play. We got a passion already in here. We have a purpose that's already within. And so when we begin to take time and reflect and to look at what it is that's ours to do, our passion can ignite. It's like, I don't know how many people have a gas stove. I still have a gas stove. My dad was a chef and he told me, electric stoves are good, but they don't cook like gas. And when you have that gas on, you have a pilot light, a little flame that's there that allows you to turn the gas on and it just ignites. Well, each one of you are just like that gas stove. There's a little pilot light somewhere in here, in your gut or in your heart or in your mind. I mean, some people might put theirs different places. That's all right. That's all right. As long as you got it, as long as we can spark it, that's what counts. That's what counts. And so when we begin to do this, search for it. The gas hits it and we come alive. Now, I want to say this about passion, because oftentimes we might not really know what passion is. And there's so many different definitions. I mean, there's the one passion that always comes up, and that's when you're talking about love relationships, right? But I would like to say that that's an offshoot of the real definition of passion. And I want to read this because I believe this is the essence of the word, and everything else is an offshoot of this. And that is, it is a powerful feeling of enthusiasm towards someone or something, a desire that forces us to act to move, to create. A divine spark that sets everything in motion. That's what passion is. It's this thing that allows us to move forward, to get up out the bed in the morning. Although I know sometimes you get up out the bed and say, I got to go to work and I don't want to get up. Although now, you work from home, you can just go to the next room. So that should make it a lot easier for some of us. But passion is that thing that kicks us into gear. And now when you are able to tap into that, or as we are exploring today, to discover that, because some of us haven't discovered it yet. But when you're able to discover it and allow that pilot light to kick in, life begins to be this grand adventure, this opportunity to explore not only the world, but yourself. Because, you think about this, we have tons of metaphors that we use, especially now, because they just get sucked up in the memes, and we put these 2-3 words on a meme, and we want that meme to capture a metaphor or some mythic story. And they do all right sometimes, but most of the time they leave a little bit to be desired. But what we're really looking at in this metaphor that I was thinking of is it says, if we look within, we are a mirror of the cosmos. As above, so below. As below, so above. So we are each one a mini facsimile of the whole cosmos. And we know now from some of the latest telescopes and some of the latest satellites that have been sent in space recently, that this cosmos is an amazing thing. They've theorized a couple of things about black holes and things like that. Well, now these new instruments that they're sending out are discovering that some of the postulations were true of what a black hole is. Someone's passion for understanding black holes said, I'm going to create a telescope and I'm going to shoot it into space. I don't even know how we're going to do this, because I'm going to put it on a rocket that's going to be shaking with fire, but I need to keep all the instruments, all of my mirrors intact so that we can look inside and outside. And that's what we have to do when we look to discover our passion. You have to look in and then you have to look out. So in a world that's beaming with possibilities and with distractions and distortions, finding your passion is akin to doing a treasure hunt. Or if we take it back, we often associate passion with kids, or if we take it back to our kid language, playing hide and seek, right? How many people played hide and seek? That was a fun game because, or another game similar, hot and cold, right? You're hot, cold. Same kind of vernacular, if you will, where we have to begin to look for things. We have to, and then once you find it, let's think about when you were the one had to go find everybody. And every time you found somebody, you got more and more excited. You got more and more passionate about finding the next thing or the next person. That's how we have to approach life. That's how we have, and it starts with, now get this, catch this, it starts with self-reflection. Think about when you were the one who was looking for everybody. First thing you thought of, I guarantee you, where would I hide? That's a little self-reflective moment right there. Where would I hide? Under the bed, in the closet. And once you get that vision, you set out on a mission. You go look. Oh, not there. Okay. That was my second choice anyway. Let me go look in the closet. Right? And boom, you found it, man, in the closet, because they thought it was dark and they could hide behind the clothes, but you found it. That's how we have to find our passion. That's what you have to look for when you're trying to engage in life. This is not a static life. Although some of us probably would like it to be when we find the sweet spot. Oh, I just don't move. I want it right here. Just keep it right here. So I don't have to feel any pain. I don't have to go through any changes. And I don't have to worry about sometime my passion kind of going up and down. But that's this thing called life. So let us set the stage for this discovery of what it means to find or discover our passion and to move forward. I want to read this. I think this really captures it. In the pursuit of passion, failures are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. Each stumble, each setback teaches us a valuable lesson that molds us into a resilient individual. The journey of discovering passion is not without challenge, but these challenges sculpt our character, make us stronger and more determined to fulfill our calling. So the pitfalls and the setbacks that we get on the road, they build resilience and they build character so that we can stand forth with our passion and boldly go where no man or woman has gone before. Now, I want to bring up this first slide here, if we could. And this is by Donovan Bailey. Now, I'm not sure, some of you may know Donovan Bailey if you're into track. And if you're not into track, you're like, who the heck is Donovan Bailey? Well, Donovan Bailey, in the 1996 Olympics, I think it was, set the world's record for 100 meters. He was the first one to set the then new, obviously, world record. He ran 100 meters in 9.84 seconds. And he said this: follow your passion. Be prepared to work hard and sacrifice. And above all, don't let anyone limit your dreams. That's what he had to tap into to reach that goal of setting the world's record and winning an Olympic gold. Now, again, I like track, so I'm into this. So I'm going to give you another little tidbit. Of course, he's from Jamaica. And a few years later, 2009, one of his countrymen broke his record. And when I say the name, y'all going to say, oh, yeah, Usain Bolt. He ran it. Now Donovan ran it in 9.84 seconds. Usain Bolt ran it in 9.58 seconds. He had a passion not only to win the race, but I'm sure to break that record. And I'm sure he spent countless hours on the track, in the gym, in the weight room, visualizing. How do I come out of the blocks? How do I stand? You know, the whole thing of running. But when you can do that, you don't worry about the setbacks. He didn't win every race he ran. But he didn't let it stop him from that passion because you think about it. To train and be able to do that takes some effort. That takes some self-reliance, some getting to know who you are. Because I'm telling you, if you've never been a runner, and it's one of the most enduring things that I've ever done. And when I ran my first marathon, I'm like probably 15 miles into it. And I'm like, have I lost my mind? What am I doing? Out here running 26 miles. I don't know if I like this passion anymore. I don't know if I have the self-reliance to get to the other side of the race. But there was a passion that kept me going. It said, well, just slow down a little bit. You know, you don't have to get it all in an 8-minute pace. Yeah, 10-minute pace will do too. So you slow down. And then you find out that there comes a point when you get rejuvenated, when you really go within and find that pilot light again, and you ignite it. Now you can maybe cut another half a second off. But that's what happens. That's what it takes to discover your passion. That's what it takes. And so as we begin to look at this, I want to give you 3 things that are necessary, and I call them spiritual truths on this journey, this adventure for discovering your passion. The first thing is this: you have to embrace curiosity. There's no way about it. You have to be curious about life because there are infinite possibilities in the world. But if you aren't curious about them, for you, that just might as well not exist. It's like, you got your blinders on and you're saying, wow, nothing's happening, but the world is happening out here, but you only looking right here. You got to be curious, because that curiosity becomes a beacon of light that shows you the way to your passion. Are you curious? Or are you satisfied with life? You got no more questions. You understand it all, and you don't need me trying to be curious. I know it all already. Or I can just go on the internet and Google it and I'll find it. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. So we have to begin to be curious. And the one thing about that curiosity, it nurtures your passion. Now, I just badmouthed the internet, but I'm going to go back to it in a good way now. Just think about somebody told you, you're having coffee and y'all having a chat, and somebody said, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And he discovered that the world was not flat. And you say, now, wait a minute. You mean we done got up to 1492 and they don't know the world is not flat? So you go look, where did this flat earth stuff come from? Who was the first one to make the hypothesis that the world was round? Somebody had a passion for that. They got and did whatever they needed to do. And it wasn't Columbus who found it. People knew that way, way before Columbus popped on the scene. But see, when you're curious, when you have a passion for knowledge, as in this case, you do what you need to do. How many of you don't have to tell me because I know I've done it. How many of you have had an idea or start investigating something at 7 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening, and 1 o'clock in the morning, you still there looking? Time done flew by and you look and you said, I got to go to work in the morning. What am I doing? Passion. Passion has propelled you to go beyond what you think you can do. And it all started with enabling that curiosity. So let's make sure we remain curious about life. Now, the second truth that we need to do to embrace this passion, to ignite this passion, to discover this passion, is you got to know what you value. What matters to you most? What's important to you? Now, these values, these become guideposts along the way, right? Here in Colorado and other places, but I know for sure here in Colorado, we have a lot of hikers and we got a lot of trails. And on some of these trails, you start off on the same path, but then there's a little moderate trail and a light trail, and then there's a hard trail that goes straight up the mountain. But they have guideposts to say, this is the easy path. This is the moderate path. That's the hard path right there. Choose one. That's what your values help you do. They're like those guideposts on the hiking trail. So you kind of know where you are. You kind of know what to expect. And when we can know what we value, I can endure any how if I know why. I can endure any how if I know why I'm doing it, because that why is tied to a value. It's tied to something in your heart, something in your mind, something in your very soul that makes you want to grab it. And you're not worried about conditions or circumstances or any of that. So when you think about what you care about, what truly matters to you, you're onto something about what your values are. Now, if you work in a corporation, you know, every so and now, right? They'll go through these exercises where we want to restate our value statement, our value proposition, and our mission. You need to do that every now and then with your life. Check in on your values. What I valued as a 10-year-old kid, I don't value that stuff too much now. I value going and playing marbles with my friends and trying to take all their marbles while they were trying to do the same for me. That was a value, because I could walk around with my bag of marbles and say, ooh, look what I did. But now I don't really care. I still would love to play marbles if anybody want to play. But it's not a value that's going to, you know, compel me to do something other than if I walk up on a game or we start talking trash and I play it, right? But I know what I value now. My values have changed, so be prepared for that. They change. The other thing about these values that I think is real telling is that when you tap into those values, there's a grounding, there's an alignment, there's a fulfillment that shows up in your life when you get attached to your values. Now, if you're doing something and you don't feel one of those kind of things, you don't feel grounded or you don't feel excited about it or there's no fulfillment in it, you still might enjoy it, but it's not tied to a value. Because these values, again, remember, they're guideposts. They're what help you navigate. They're like a compass, if you will, to use another metaphor. If anybody in here sails or anybody knows how to sail, and I did take some sailing classes. I took a basic class and I took a navigational class, and this was when I was back east, and we went out on Chesapeake Bay and spent the whole weekend charting courses and trying to figure out where the reefs were and where the sand barges were. And without that compass, buddy, I tell you, I would have wrecked that boat. Wasn't my boat, so I definitely didn't want to wreck it because it cost a little bit of money. But these values are just like that compass. It helped me navigate on how to turn, how to move, where to go straight, where to hold up for a little while, wait till the tide rise. That's how we have to begin to look at life. Just like you're a boat, let's say, and you finna set sail on an adventure that has been waiting for you before you were born. Before you were born. And when that happens, you just begin to activate. Actions take over your life and you move forward. Now, the third thing, after we've understood what it means to embrace curiosity and we've tapped into our values, we want to do some other things. But now I want to just take one note back because I want to share this second slide on curiosity. This is by Howard Thurman. And Howard Thurman said this: don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. Then go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Now, that's from Howard Thurman. And if you don't know much about Howard Thurman, here's one of them curiosity points. Go get on the internet and look him up. Howard Thurman was an instructor of Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King at Morehouse University. Go look up Dr. Thurman. Don't look around. Figure out what's going to make you passionate. What's going to set that fire in you? And then go do that. Everything else will fall in line. Everything else will fall in line. And then when we look at this next slide, we begin to kind of hone in on what the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is not to be happy. Now, I know some of y'all might take a point with that. But If we read on, it says, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived have lived a life worth living, a well-lived life. That's, I would submit, is what you want on your gravestone. I have lived a life that has been exemplary. Exemplary because I've shown compassion. I've helped others. I poured myself into something. Because just to say I was happy, when I leave, shucks, a whole lot of people happy. He didn't do much, did he? He's just happy. That's all he did. I can go to to a movie and be happy, but that's not what life is about. I would submit. Now some may disagree, but once we've done these things, once we have a curiosity and we have some values, then the last thing that we have to really take hold of, and this is a challenge, I know it is for me, we have to be willing to embrace growth and change. I said earlier that, it's nice to get in a comfortable position like the bed in winter and it's warm and you don't want to grow, you don't want to get up, you don't want to change, you just want to stay right in that comfortable place. But that's not going to allow you to become the divine emanations of the Most High God by just settling for something. We're on a journey of continuous learning. We're on a journey that requires us to step outside of our comfort zone. We're on a journey that asks us to hone our skills. So whether you're hiking or you're sailing or whatever it is, running, right? If you want to do it well and it's really a passion, you're going to do all these things. You're going to hone those skills. You're going to step outside your comfort zone. And the next thing you know, you won't even need the pilot light because you'll have an eternal flame just blowing energy and essence all through your life. That's why we're here. That's what it takes to discover your passion. Now, for those of us who already have it, that's great. For those of us who are still looking for it, continue to look. Because we look at this next slide. It kind of says this by Joseph Campbell. Passion will move men and women beyond themselves, beyond their shortcomings, beyond their failures. And that's why we're here. If a baby fell, imagine this. Let me put it this way. Imagine when you were born and you were starting to walk and you fell down and your parents say, he ain't got it. I don't want you to walk. I don't want you to try to walk no more. I want you to sit down over here and just don't walk. This whole idea of hiking and running and sailing would be off the table for you. You couldn't even imagine it. So that's what we have to do. We have to begin to imagine life differently. We have to begin to look for life differently. And so, as always, when we begin to look at these kinds of spiritual truths of embracing curiosity and knowing what our values are and being prepared to learn and grow, we have a call to action that allows us to begin that path. And so if we look at these call to action, just 2 points. 2 points on the call to action. And if we could bring up that call to action slide, that'd be great. First thing is, take time this week for self-reflection, exploring what makes your heart sing. You ain't got to tell nobody. Just do it. And then once you've done that, or in conjunction with that, journal about what you wanted to be as a kid. Because back then, we didn't have a lot of limitations. We didn't have a lot of stumbling blocks. We had a bunch of guideposts. I want to be a musician, an athlete, or this or that. But if you can just do those things, this coming week, I guarantee you something will get popped and you will begin to discover your passion or reignite your passion. So I'd like to leave with this in summary, and I don't want to miss it. So it says this: dear ones, the journey of discovering your passion is an odyssey worth undertaking. It breathes life into our existence, infuses each day with purpose and vigor. As you explore your interests, embrace your curiosities, and learn from your failures, remember that your passion is a gift to the world. Remember, the great minds and inventors of history were driven by their curiosity, their passion to unravel the mysteries of the universe, where they lived authentically, pursuing what ignited their spirit. You inspire others when you do this. So remember, passion is always there, just waiting for us to catch up. Passion is always there, just waiting for us to catch up. And so as we go into this week, I want to have this affirmation, to present this affirmation for us to think about and use. We can bring up that affirmation. I am a unique creation of the divine. I am open to discovering the unique passion that resides within me. I am a unique creation of the divine. I am open to the unique passion that resides within me. And if we can do that just a little bit, we'll see a change in our life. We'll have more energy. We'll have more vision. We'll have more success, which ultimately will lead to more joy. So with that, let's go into prayer. So as we just take a deep breath and get centered, and relax and allow all of that energy that is bubbling in us right now, thinking about our passion. We allow ourselves to be still and connect with the Most High God. That divine intelligence, that thing itself that motivates and animates and creates worlds. That each one of us are representatives of that. And we know, because we see a world around us that is filled with excitement and joy and things to overcome, we know that we are able, that we are capable of navigating this course called life. And so we look for our passion, we discover our passion, we ignite our passion, and we move forward with courage and with a smile on our face, knowing that all things are possible. And so as I take that idea into my heart, to my mind, into my very soul, I know this is true for me and for everyone that's here and everyone that's online, looking for a way to be authentic, looking for a way to be creative, and looking for a way to share your gifts with the world. And so as we allow this to just wash over us and to affect every aspect of our being, we know that we will be successful because God has ordained it. He's made each one of us unique, meaning that if we don't show up, something's going to be missing. So right now, we show up boldly, courageously, joyously, knowing that life is worth living and that our passion will set our sails in the direction of greatness. And so with that, I give thanks for this idea, for this opportunity, for this moment of awakening that says yes to life. And so with that,
Don't put it off, just do it. Just say it. I'll speak my truth, I'll state my needs. Just say it. Just claim it. Act as if you know it's done. Just claim it. Just breathe. Breathe in faith. Breathe out fear. Just breathe. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Oh, do it. Just do it. Come on, do it. I'm gonna give myself a gentle push. I'm gonna start today. Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't put it off. Just do it. Just trust. Trust. Trust myself. Trust myself. Trust my heart. Trust. Just trust. Just trust. Love. I'm gonna give love. I'm gonna show love. Just love. Faith. Faith. I have faith. I have faith. All is well. I have faith. Just do it. 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 Come on, do it. I'm gonna give myself a gentle push. I'm gonna start today. Hey, yeah! Every time I criticize and focus on my flaws, I don't realize that I am worthy and capable, and I deserve to have it all. So now's my time to rise and shine, go for the dreams that are in my mind. Take one small step and not be afraid, cause with faith and love, I've got it made. Just do it. Just do it.